It's Christmas Eve. The house is warm. The lights are glowing, and someone is already inside. Secrets rot, phones ring, and survival depends on who's still breathing. This isn't peace on earth. This is Black Christmas.
Before we begin, a quick warning. Opening Kill is a horror podcast that contains adult language, disturbing themes, and graphic descriptions of violent acts, especially the kills featured in each film. We also dive deep into plot details and character arcs. So if you haven't seen the movie we're covering, expect full spoilers ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Opening Kill, the horror podcast that slices deep into the genre we love. We're talking slashers, supernatural nightmares, creature features, and everything in between. Every episode, we break down a different horror film. From its killer cold open to its blood-soaked finale, we track the body count, analyze the scares, and give credit where it's gruesomely due. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, you'll find them all here. Hosted by filmmaker and horror scholar Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran, lifelong genre fan and scream scene specialist. So sharpen your knives, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. This is Opening Kill.
And welcome to Opening Kill episode 47, Black Christmas. By the way, Merry Christmas. I'm Brian O'Connor, along with my broadcasting partner in crime,
Michael Duran, the one and only.
The one and only.
Thankfully.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays, all that jazz.
Yeah. And here we are on Christmas Day, bringing you Black Christmas, the remake.
The remake from 2006.
Yeah.
This is one that I remember fondly from my teenage years, and I think it still holds up. I think it's still a lot of fun. There's some issues with it. We'll go through those, but overall,
oh God,
it's just a gory, goopy, silly good time.
There are some things in it that even made me go, oh,
yeah.
Some pretty nasty things. I actually went back and watched the original 1974 version of Black Christmas, just for context on this. And I have to say, even though this movie from 2006 is not the best, I still actually liked it better than the original, and certainly way better than the one that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, that one is Black Christmas in title only.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think I do enjoy this one more. Recently, I've gotten more of a respect for the original because it can be kind of slow, and that was my issue with it for years and years. But then I watched it last year for through hopefully new eyes, and for whatever reason, I was like, okay, I kind of get this one, and I appreciate the slow build of it all. But this one is just to the action, bodies falling one just right after another. It's not slow at all.
I agree. I don't dislike the original. I do dislike the one that came out, the third one that came out a few years ago. But the original, after rewatching it, it's considered by many, many people to be like the godfather of the slasher genre.
Yeah. I mean, it's got all the tropes, so it's kind of it's hard not to agree with that. You get your final girl, you've got a killer who hides in the shadows, lots of the drunk people who die first.
Right. Always good to see that.
Yeah, it's always fun. But yeah, this one is I'm excited to talk about it more. So have you seen anything interesting?
Really, it was the original one that I went back and watched.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one that I watched just so I could really accurately compare the two. And they're different. They're certainly different. I think that the first one and this one are certainly more alike than the third one. The third one, just like you said, I think it's great. It's, Black Christmas in title only. It really went in a completely different direction. So the original one I enjoyed. This one I enjoyed a little bit more. The third one, I just really didn't. I saw that one in theaters when it first came out. I remember producer Jillian and I went and saw that, and it was kind of like, okay. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any movies, but I did finish the series of It Welcome to Derry. And
Okay.
it's best show of the year, easy. Bill Skarsgård is at his absolute best as Pennywise. It's some of his best stuff in this one. And it's my favorite thing out of the It universe. So I like it both better than both the movies by like leaps and bounds. It's incredible. So I cannot wait for the second and third season. And you get to see some of these events that you always heard about in the movies, like the burning of the black spot that happens in this season. And it's just really cool to actually see all this stuff. But yeah, the performances are great. Some of the kills are insane. You got to watch it. I can't wait for you to check it out.
So I've got time off through the first of the year, and I'm going to dig into this series because I'm obviously a huge Stephen King fan, number one, and I thought the movies were fantastic. So I can't wait to go into. And fun fact, Bill Skarsgård is the opening kill in Barbarian, which is a movie we're going to cover here very, very soon. So,
true.
Yeah, I think he's just such a great actor. And I've seen a lot of behind the scenes from it and how he made the kids feel, so safe on set with them when they were doing these scenes with him. And I thought that's class right there. I mean, that's common sense to do that. But he went above and beyond to make those kids feel like it was a safe environment for them, to be filming this movie. So I thought that was fantastic. Really a credit to him.
Yeah, and you would think it's common sense, but it's not, because so many of these assholes think they need to be method actors, so they stay in character and are just a douche on the set. So no, it's an actual like show of his character. I think that he was so kind to the kids.
It was really cool to see that. So I was like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
So let's dive into Black Christmas, 2006. This is the first remake of the film from 1974. Just the Facts, directed and written by Glenn Morgan. It was released on Christmas Day in 2006. There were a lot of Christian groups that were just coming out of the woodwork about this. I don't think you would see that today. This was 20 years ago. I think now it's kind of like you release a horror film on Christmas and that's okay. It's not as big of a deal as it was even just 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Runtime of this movie, 90 minutes, rated R. It was filmed primarily in British Columbia, Canada, various locations, various cities there. Stars Katie Cassidy, Michelle Trachtenberg, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Lacey Chabert, who I adore. I've always had a crush on Lacey Chabert. Kristen Cloak was in it, and Andrea Martin, the only actor in this film who was in the original 1974 version of this. She was one of the sorority girls in that movie, and in this movie she plays the house mom.
Yep.
And they made this for about $9 million, made almost $22 million at the box office, and its tagline, "This holiday season, the sleigh ride begins." Sleigh is SLAY. So kind of clever on words there.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like some fun little wordplay.
Right.
This one, so the actress who plays Kelly in this, Katie Cassidy, was originally going to be Amanda Seyfried, but they didn't want two mean girls in it, so they ended up going with Katie Cassidy instead. But which, I mean, was a fine choice, but I do think I would have rather seen Amanda. But
I love her. I loved her in Red Riding Hood, which was a film that I actually enjoyed, but critics panned it. I thought it was
Yeah.
great. I thought Amanda Seyfried was like amazing in that movie.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that one too. My wife Hannah actually showed me it because I had heard nothing but bad things, and then I'm watching it. I'm like, this is actually really good. I don't
Yeah,
understand the hate. It's like it's just a fun fairy tale esque teen horror movie. Like it's nothing crazy, but it's a lot of fun.
right. I agree. I never understood the hate either because I went and saw it 2 or 3 times in the theater. I thought it was great. I have the Blu-ray DVD of it. It's just, yeah, it's a fun movie. So whatever. I mean, anytime a critic says something is really bad, I tend to want to go see it more than if I hadn't seen the negative review of it, just because a lot of
Right.
times, I mean, it's one person's opinion, as far as a critic goes. I mean, they've got their place, but I just think they're looking for things that I don't really give a shit about in a horror movie.
True. Like I don't care about the camera all the time.
Right. Right. So Black Friday, or I'm going to do this all through this thing. I know Black Christmas starts out on a snowy night, Christmas Eve in the Alpha Kappa Gamma sorority house. Lauren, who is played by Yan K. Crystal Lowe, is getting changed into her pajamas. Next door, it's Claire Crosby, played by Leela Savasta. She's writing a Christmas card to her half sister, Lee, and suddenly something gets her attention from her closet. She goes
Yes.
over to the closet, looks inside. There's nothing there. There's a heater vent that's right in front of the closet and it's blowing air. And so she assumes, well, that's what's making these clothes kind of move. So she
Right.
doesn't think anything about it, goes back to her Christmas cards. And before she walked over to the closet, there was a close up on her pen, her fountain pen that she was signing cards with. And now when she comes back, it's missing. And
Yeah.
then suddenly a figure comes out of nowhere and wraps a plastic bag around her head and then stabs the pen into her eye. And that brings us to our
The opening kill.
And honestly, I give it a butcher kill because I'll tell you why. Not the most exciting kill, but I actually jumped because I did not see this coming.
I'm gonna give it a butcher as well, but one of the reasons why is the setup is a throwback to the original.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's the scene in the closet, but they throw their own little spin on it, which I appreciated. But I love just like the nod. You're like, okay, I see what you did there. Fun with like the little closet kill. I love the shot where you see the killer under the bed and you see
Yes.
him like move out. Like I just love how he's like in the background, and I think this scene is really well done. The kill, it's nothing crazy, but it's gory enough. I mean, she's
Mm-hmm.
getting a pen in the eye, and there's a lot of eye stuff in this movie.
That's a recurring
Eyes,
theme. Yeah,
yeah,
the eyeballs. Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of we'll get to these, but I had to look away at some of these. It's like, oh my God, this is disgusting.
yes, and that was not by the choice of the director. The director was happy with the amount of gore he had in it, but the dipshit Weinsteins, they insisted on more gore. So I won't spoil what happens, but the cookie scene and the
Yeah.
eyeball stuff was all added at their request.
Even the ending was changed because of Harvey Weinstein, who,
Yeah.
yeah, what a piece of shit. He's in prison now for all the bullshit crap that he did to actresses and all the rape and all that shit. So he needs to stay there forever. But
Yeah.
he changed the ending because the ending was, and we'll get to the ending obviously, but it was not supposed to be the way it was. He demanded they changed it and they did. I mean, he ran the studio, so of course they're going to do it. So now he got involved in this and not in a good way.
Yeah, the stuff that you specifically heard he had his little grimy fingers on are the stuff that I don't really like. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So we cut to a mental institution not too far away, and we have Billy Lenz, played by Robert Mann. He is in there. He has killed his entire family like years and years prior, and he's being served his Christmas dinner, and he's
Yeah.
locked away rocking back and forth in his rocking chair safely in his cell. It's decorated with Christmas lights.
Yeah, he's got
And
it
the
all decked
orderly,
out.
he really does. It's kind of a cozy little
Yeah.
thing here. So the orderly who's serving the food gets a scare from a volunteer Santa who happens to wander down this hallway. He's looking for the children's ward. This is a fucking creepy guy. This guy is just a douche.
Yeah. Yeah, not a fan of this Mr. Claus.
Right.
Not into him at all. He's just like that early 2000s classic, like every scene inside like a hospital had to have like a grimy little pervy character for some reason, and this is this movie's.
They took care of it right away here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he jokes with the orderly about Billy trying to escape every year. I mean, the security guard actually makes jokes to the orderly, not the Santa guy, but the orderly and Santa walk away. And so now that leaves the security guard sitting there in his chair all by himself. And there's a shot of Billy in his cell, and he's sucking a candy cane to a very sharp point. And that's important because
there's a point to it.
There. Oh, I see what you did there. Very nice.
Thank you.
So Billy opens the window on his cell. It's just this little slot where they serve dinner through. And he puts a present that he's wrapped in newspaper on the ledge for the guard. Security guard walks over and opens it. There's nothing in it except basically a note. It says, "I'll be home for Christmas." And the security guard looks into the cell, finds that it's empty, and Billy's chair is rocking back and forth. So here's my problem with this scene, though. He opens the cell and he goes inside. He's got his flashlight and he's shining it around and looking, and there's a hole in the wall. And this is kind of like the Clint Eastwood movie from the late 70s, Escape from Alcatraz, where they carved out the wall, the cement. They got through it, and that's how they escaped from Alcatraz. So it's kind of the same thing where Billy has apparently like chipped away at the wall at this vent and opened up this hole. But not once does this security guard bother to check under the bed.
That's not my only problem with the scene. First off, he would call for backup.
Yes.
He wouldn't just go in there by himself. And then when he goes in there, the hole, it was, there was like a water fountain or a sink that was right in front of it. And so the sink is ripped apart. So there's all these pipes. There's no room for him to get through. There's pipes, like it's basically still walled off with these pipes. So thinking he would have snuck his way through that, it was absolutely preposterous. And yeah, not clearing the room first was a choice that ultimately proved fatal.
Absolutely, because as we pointed out, the candy cane with the point, that comes into play here.
Yeah, he pops out from under the bed, right to the neck, and he just walks on out of there.
This is the funny thing. So he bumps into the man who is dressed as Santa, and he kills him. We don't really see it on screen, but that's kill number 3. And then he steals his outfit. He stuffs his body in the present bag and is able to just walk out of this institution. Then he throws the bag in the dumpster, and you see the man's arm sticking out of the bag.
His little hands. Hi.
Yep. What's up?
And Billy's, this is how you know Billy's pretty strong, because he's able to just deadlift a corpse and carry it out in a sack. So we're dealing with a physically fit fella, even though he doesn't look it.
He really doesn't. He's kind of a scrawny little fella. But
and
he's been working out in the institution. I mean, he's got some, like you said, he's got some muscle power.
And yellow skin, which I don't understand that choice. It just seems such a random thing to include that he's jaundiced.
Well, and we'll get into that here too, because there's a flashback scene in the future that explains why he has yellow skin. And it just is so silly to me. I don't understand it. I really don't.
It just looks like that character in Sin City. Like,
oh God, yes. Like
where
you're right.
It just stands out so much where you're like, okay, that's not what it really looks like. Like, they're not
Yep.
actually yellow. And this dude is
No.
legitimately yellow.
Absolutely. So Billy escapes the institution. Then we cut to the sorority house. We go back to there. We're outside. We're in the car where Kelly, who is played by Katie Cassidy, and her boyfriend Kyle, played by Oliver Hudson, are talking in his car. He's thinking, because it's their first Christmas together, they're going to be together. He's going to get laid. It's going to be great. She tells him that, no, that's not going to happen. I want to spend time with my sorority sisters and, we'll have our time together. So she kisses him goodbye and goes into the house. And as she does, her fellow sorority sister, Megan, calls Kyle on his cell phone.
Yeah.
And Megan is in her room watching an old homemade porn movie that features her and Kyle. So they had hooked up. It's very weird.
Why are you just watching that?
I know. Well, she finds
puts it on for casual viewing.
Well, and she had no idea that this video was out there. Apparently, a friend of Kyle's had gotten it, stolen it from him, and put it online. And now she's watching it and freaking the fuck out, as you would. I mean, obviously.
Right.
And so Kelly doesn't know about any of this, and she leaves the car, goes inside, greets everybody, and then we meet the rest of the sorority house. Melissa, who's played by Michelle Trachtenberg.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Heather Fitzgerald, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Dana Mathis, who is Lacey Chabert's character. Lauren Hannon, Crystal Lowe, and Miss McHenry, who is Andrea Martin. Again, the house mother who loves all of the girls and accepts all of their flaws. And again, she played Phyllis, one of the girls in the original 1974 film. Phyllis was known as Phil in that film. And it was kind of cool. That was a nice throwback to have at least one of the actresses from the original in this one.
Yeah, no, I think that was definitely needed. And to have her as the house mom was just, I think that was a nice little touch.
Right.
And something that they have is a little gift exchange between the girls, but they also have to give a gift to Billy because Billy lived in this house and bit of a legend, and that's just something that they've always done. They always leave a gift for Billy. But Mrs. Mack is kind of telling more about Billy's backstory, and we get some of it here. We learned that he killed his family, and when he was born, he had a liver disorder, that makes his skin yellow.
Right.
His dad loved him. Mama hated him. And because she hated his dad, I guess. I don't understand the hatred there. He seemed like a nice guy, honestly. And there's this scene where she just goes over to his crib, grabs his baby's first Christmas ornament, breaks it, and just dumps the glass on the baby. And you're like, Jesus. And she's like making eye contact with the dad while she does it. It's just like, fuck.
That's the thing. The father seems so loving. And as a parent, even if your baby is born with a disorder, wouldn't you love that baby anyway? I mean,
you're supposed to.
Yeah. And she wants nothing to do with him, like you said. I just thought this whole, yellow skin thing is just dumb. And
yeah, I don't get it.
And can I just point out too, is it odd that this very poor family of 3 live in this huge multi-bedroom house that eventually will become a sorority house? How could they afford to live in this? This is a big house. It's a sorority house.
Huge house. It's a huge house.
And
that's a good question.
They're struggling. Yeah. I mean, they're struggling, obviously. And these, at least the mom is just trailer trash. The dad seems perfectly normal, but I found that odd that they would live in this huge house, just the 3 of them. How could they afford that? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Who knows? But I guess they did. And we get a little bit more with his family as he gets a little bit older. He gets just treated worse and worse worse by the mom, who's just this raging alcoholic.
Yep.
And on Christmas, when he's 5, his mom tells him Santa was shot down by the Russians, so he's not going to come see you. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's just... So yeah, we have the mom telling him Santa's been shot down. His dad, however, super nice. He's got him a really special gift, which is a telescope. That makes him like super happy. It's something I think he's clearly wanted for quite a while. But his happiness doesn't last long because his mom and father fighting a lot, and the mom is having an affair. And we then discover that her lover is going to help her kill her husband, and poor little Billy is going to witness it. He's kind of looking under the door crack, and you just see his yellow ass eye looking through the door crack, and we see the dad just fall down with a bag on his head, and death by a hammer. So boom, another death for the kill count. Billy sees this and just Billy sees it, hauls ass into the walls, which is his hobby, I guess.
That's the weird thing about this
walls.
house. Yeah, you can get into the walls and go through this, and there's all kinds of little places you can look into all the different rooms and everything else.
Yeah, so he's like in the crawl space. He then discovers the mom and the lover burying Billy's father underneath the house, so in the crawl space. And I think this shot is the reason they made him jaundiced, because the mom hears him, shines the light over, and you just see the bright yellow eye peeking in through some like wood, and it's a good creepy shot. So like, I'm convinced that's why they did it, though, because the yellow is very unsettling there.
I feel for this kid. I mean,
oh God, yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I grew up in such the opposite environment. I know you did too. I mean, loving parents, great family, siblings, and to grow up in this type of a situation, I can't even, fathom that.
No, like it's crazy. And then, he heads back through the walls again to the attic, and that is where his mom locks him. So now he's prisoner in the attic.
So we flash back to the present, and the girls, present day, all the sorority girls, they are just horrified by this story, but Miss Mack assures them it's completely true. Heather finally admits that she was the one who drew Billy's name for the Secret Santa, but she thought it was wrong to buy a gift because he was a murderer, and she thinks it's offensive to the birth of Jesus to make a mockery of gift giving. So,
God, she's one of those people that just ruins the fun of everything. You're like, God, do you really have to bring up Jesus right now? Like, come on, we're giving gifts.
So she starts to go up into her room. Oh my God, right? Yeah, she heads up to her room, and then she runs into Eve, who is coming down the stairs. Eve has been upstairs the whole time, one of the sorority girls, and she is on her way out to go visit her family, go home for the holidays. She gives Heather her secret Santa gift, which is a crystal statue in the form of a unicorn. And that is important to note because we will revisit that unicorn later. Heather is just kind of a bitch.
Well, the unicorn was also in the original Black Christmas.
It was.
There's a little throwback to that as well. And a fun little thing about Eve, she's supposed to be like ugly and like kind of like creepy. Yeah. But she's actually played by a supermodel, and this is her only role. This is it.
Isn't that interesting? She's like drop dead gorgeous in real life. But they made her to look, they put her in those big Coke bottle glasses and everything else to really make her look like, oof. Yeah. Not great.
And another fun little thing in this scene specifically is in the background, you'll notice there is a leg lamp from A Christmas Story, because Bob Clark, who directed A Christmas Story, also directed the original Black Christmas. So that's just a little throwback to that director, Bob Clark.
I missed that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for it because I was reading trivia and I saw that. So I'm like, ooh, I'm going to keep my eyes out for it. And it is there.
Okay. Well, Heather is less than impressed with this statue of a unicorn. And I felt really bad for Eve because she was just, she obviously Eve is not part of that clique. And, she's an outcast. And And I felt really bad for her that she goes to the trouble to participate in the Secret Santa, and the gift that she gives to Heather is received very unenthusiastically. And so Eve goes to the door, but Miss Mac tells her, wait a minute, hold on. We have a present for you from Santa. And she finds it and she goes, oh, here it is. But by that time, Eve has already walked out the door because she's very sad that, Heather treated her so disrespectfully. So she's
Right.
out the door and gone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she was a douche. Like,
Yeah.
Eve is a sweet little lady, as she appears to be. So, yeah.
I thought, it's funny though, because I kind of suspected Eve as being something other than she was. I thought, well,
Right.
maybe this is, maybe this is something else here, but
They
turns
definitely
out
played
that's,
her up. Yeah, they definitely
yeah,
played
they
her up
did.
as a red herring for sure.
Yep. Yep. So it was interesting. And then she just leaves and that's really it. We'll find her a little bit later, of course. But yeah. So Kelly and Lauren go upstairs to tell Claire and Megan that they're going to open all the presents. Claire, who was our opening kill, obviously does not answer. Lauren pounds on the door, says she's going to steal her presents if she doesn't get down here. Kelly does this on Megan's door. Megan tells him to go away. Keep in mind, Megan is the
she's
one
still
who just
sad,
saw. Yeah, she saw herself in a porn video, so she wants nothing to do with anybody. She wants to sulk in her room. Can't blame her at all for that. That
Yeah, no, I
came
get
out. I
it.
wouldn't want to be around anybody.
Yeah, I
So,
get it.
yeah. So they leave, and Megan hears a snow globe tune playing up in the attic.
Yep.
So
She
one of
does
those
what every
attics.
dumb person. Yeah, she does what every dumb person does. Goes to investigate.
Now we're
without
going
any
back
help.
we're going back to Sinister, because it's one of those attics where you have to pull down the door and there's a ladder. And so
Yeah.
she goes up there and she asks if somebody's playing a joke, and she gets a little more than she bargained for, because that's where she finds Claire's body by the window in a rocking chair. And then somebody comes from behind and smashes a snow globe into her head. She falls down. And again, she gets a bag put over her head as well. And then the figure rips out one of her eyes with their bare hands for kill number 5, keeping with our eyeball theme here.
Yeah, this is like your first plucking of an eyeball out of the head, and it will not be the last. But it's gross. I don't like it because they add this effect where like you get like the snapping of like the eye tendons. I don't know what they're called, but
I don't know either, but it's not pleasant.
It's not pleasant, and I don't like it. But yeah, the eye stuff is the thing I would change about this movie. There's a couple others, but it's one of the things I would change about this movie.
There are a couple of scenes that I may have done differently or not even done at all in this movie, but totally agree.
So we got that death with the eyeball pluck, and then we get the first phone call, which is important in the Black Christmas franchise. Alyssa's the one who answers it, and she puts it on speaker, and the caller is being obscene, making weird, gross noises. Lauren, she's sassy. She's kind of like teasing him back. And then it takes a turn when the caller threatens to kill Lauren before hanging up. And something the killer says, he starts dropping little phrases that they had said earlier in the night. So he's being creepy, and like that's got to make you feel like, well, he's obviously can hear us. So that makes all their suspicions going where it's like, maybe it's just one of our sisters playing a prank. Maybe it's this or that. So the gears start turning onto who this person could be. But
so I
overall,
will say that, this is where, this actually does parallel the original film pretty well with all of the obscene phone calls and everything else.
Oh, and they also see that it's coming from Megan's cell, that they do like a caller ID check, and it's Megan's cell that is calling. So they assure themselves that, I guess it's just a joke.
Yep. I guess. That's a pretty shitty joke, but
not a
whatever,
fun one,
right? No.
Right.
So they go back to opening their presents. Miss Mac is getting some lingerie as a gag gift. Everybody laughs. Kelly at this point goes back upstairs because she wants to check on the girls. Kyle suddenly pops out of Megan's room. He has sneaked in through the window, apparently. Kelly screams. The other girls rush upstairs. Kyle apologizes and says he wanted to surprise her. Miss Mack asks if Megan is in her room, and Kyle says, I don't know. It was dark. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So and it's an upstairs bedroom window. So you climb up, break in through a window, and you don't notice anyone's in the room, or they don't notice you coming in.
I mean, the whole thing was stupid to me. I mean, how would you not notice somebody in the room? I mean, you're right. Yeah.
One thing I did want to touch upon, because they have this conversation in the hallway, and the hallway is decked out with lights, and I loved just how this house was decorated, because the flickering lights was just such a cool effect. It's one of my favorite aspects was the lighting in this movie, specifically in the house. I think it was really well done, very atmospheric and creepy.
I totally agree with that. I thought the scenic design in this movie was actually really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it probably a little bit over the top than what a sortie house would actually look at? Like, sure, but it looks fantastic on film.
Right. Right. So Kyle starts to tell another story about Billy. And so we get more now into the history of Billy. And apparently Billy was kept in the attic for many years. His mother and stepfather lived happily without him. Everything was great, except this is where it gets really fucking sick and disgusting because his mom couldn't get pregnant by his stepfather. And there's a scene where
Yeah, because the stepfather is just like too much of a drunk. So yeah, there's the scene where they're banging on the stairs and he just passes out.
So he can't hold an erection. He passes out. So Billy at this point is 12 years old. His mother creeps up into the attic and he's in his rocking chair and you just see her you don't even see her ass. It's like the top of the legs down. All of a sudden you see her dress or whatever she's wearing just drop down to her feet. And then it cuts away, but you understand that she's had sex with her son, her 12-year-old son.
Yeah, it's
a
choice. It's got Weinstein written all over it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I don't like it. It's icky. There's a million things you could have done.
Yep.
That didn't include moms having sex with the kids that they supposedly hate, which is the thing that doesn't make sense because she gets pregnant because it immediately just flashes forward to 9 months later and there's a baby girl. But she hates him. So how is this any different than Billy? Because she hated the dad, therefore hated Billy. Like, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. This whole scene was disgusting. This whole premise was disgusting. I think you're right. There is another way they could have gone about this, but this was just, this was sickening to see this. So
it's a lot. And you see Billy's mom. She knows Billy's like somehow looking down. She just looks up into the ceiling and she says, "She's my family now," which is a line that gets repeated a few times here in the future.
In various ways.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Agnes, as she grew older, Billy became more jealous of her. One Christmas down the road, she gets a doll for a present, and Billy, who is extremely jealous, breaks out of this tantrum. He gets out of the attic and he rushes to the living room. He attacks Agnes, pulls out one of her eyes. Now, it's important to note she doesn't die. She still is alive. But then he stabs his stepfather in the face, which was a pretty cool kill. Number 6.
Yeah. I don't know what that thing was, but it made the eyeball pop out the back of the head.
It was kind of, I felt like, I would have to go back and watch it again too. It was some kind of like an umbrella or something. And the stepfather was charging and he held it up and it just went through his eye and out the back of his head or something like that. And then he beat his mom to death with a dough roller, another first here on Opening Kill. And that was number 7. He really went to town on her with that.
This was brutal. You don't see anything. They're behind an island in the kitchen, but you see his arm like it coming up and down, and he is thrashing
Oh my
her.
gosh.
Like it is rough, and you just hear it smacking her. And this is my other thing that I hate, and this was directly a Weinstein thing. For whatever reason, they decided that what Billy is going to do now that he killed his parents is grab the cookie cutter, press it into mommy, and make cookies out of her flesh. And you see him just like, you see him just like putting them on the little tray, sliding them in the oven. He preheated it successfully. And then the police show up, and what they walk into is Billy with a glass of milk eating his mom's flesh cookies. I hate it.
So I gotta say, the close up on his mouth is fucking disgusting. Oh my God.
Foul.
He's got
foul.
shit hanging out of his mouth. It is. It's like, I was like so glad I wasn't eating anything when I was watching this scene, because it was one of the most disgusting things I have ever seen in cinema ever.
And I don't know what flesh looks like when it gets eaten, but I think it looks like this because it's so grimy, and like he like pulls on it like it's kind of like
jerky.
Carnivore.
It looked like jerky is what it did, and it was like he had this white shit kind of coming out the corners of his mouth, and it was just nasty.
No, it was gross. It was disgusting. So he obviously gets locked away.
You think?
And we learned then that Agnes was put into an orphanage, and no one to this day knows what happened to her. So
just disappeared, right? Yeah. Well, the girls, we flash back to the present now, because this was all a flashback that Kyle is telling, and girls are totally freaked out by this. Kelly goes inside Megan's room, and she ends up finding the porn on the computer. It's kind of a funny scene because Kyle is trying to stand between her and the computer, the laptop, so she can't see it. She finally sees it and realizes that her boyfriend has had sex, with Megan in the past or whenever. We don't really know the timeline on that. That's the thing. We don't know when Megan and him had sex when this tape came out, if Kelly and him were together at the time, if this happened after.
So he says it was before Kelly even moved to town to do the college. So I mean, who knows if he's telling the truth?
Buy it, though.
I don't either. That's his official story.
Yeah,
and how it got on the internet.
An asshole. So
like how it got on the internet was apparently one of his coworkers got upset at him and thought it'd be a good way to get back at him. Whatever. So clearly, Kelly is not thrilled with this, and she gets pissed, and they make Kyle leave. Like, everyone's like, just get the fuck out of here.
He's walking down the hallway towards the stairs, and he's calling them all spoiled bitches. Miss Mac actually, like, shoves him almost down the stairs to get him out of the house, right?
She does.
So Kyle leaves, and the girls start to go back downstairs. Now there's this figure standing by the Christmas tree looking at the presents. And it ends up being Claire's half-sister, Lee, who is played by the amazing Kristen Cloak. And she tells the girls that Claire never called her because Claire was going to leave town. She was going home, and her sister was supposed to pick her up. Well, Claire never showed up because she got murdered. And so the girls have no idea where Claire is. They had no idea Claire had a sister to begin with.
Right.
And, Lee explains that they're half-sisters.
I guess.
Yeah, and they're half-sisters and trying to get to know each other, but, they're distant. So they have this whole story about that as well. Yeah, it's kind of a sad thing, but yeah. Lauren is... oh, God,
now
Lauren. She's so drunk.
Lauren is smashed, and we do have the power go out in the house now. And Dana, she's kind of funny. She's like, oh, the circuit breaker is going to be under the house. And she like, everyone looks at her like, why would you know that? She's like, I know things. So
well, before the power goes out, we see Lauren completely drunk, and Melissa tells her she stinks and needs to go take a shower. So she goes to the shower, and someone is watching her from a broken tile in the floor. You see this tile pop up, and you see this yellow eyeball watching her in the shower. And then after the shower, Lauren is taken to bed. She's totally drunk still. So she passes out. Then the power goes out. The only house on that street to lose power.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the storm.
Nope.
Clearly it's a targeted issue. So Dana, she goes outside. She's smoking a cigarette on the porch when she hears like some rustling underneath the porch. So she like flashes a flashlight into this tiny little hole, doesn't see anything. And so she's like, all right, whatever. Guess I'm just going to go under there. She opens up the crawl space.
She dropped her cigarette into that hole, and whatever was there like gets hit with the fucking cigarette and just like scrambles out away. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's clearly there's someone under there. I don't understand why she would go in there, but whatever. She goes in, and that is when she gets jumped by someone. There's a little bit of a fight where she's able to stab the attacker with a garden tool, but the attacker gets the best of her and buries that gardening tool in the back of her head. So she is donezo.
Kill number 8. And so you see her dead body, and her hand is in the dirt, underneath, the house here. Right next to her hand is the skull of Billy's stepdad, which had been buried there years and years and years prior. That's where the mom, and the stepdad, or actually the dad, not the stepdad. The dad, actually, they'd buried his body and everything underneath the house. And
how did
that was kind of
police not find that? Like, I'm sorry.
That was my thought too.
Like, he went missing, clearly. Like, there would have been an investigation. And you're telling me they didn't, like, check the house ever? Like, that seems silly.
Well, I mean, it's a horror film. So, you can't do that, right? You can't be logical here.
That's true. Why would we want to be logical anyway?
Right. So everybody starts asking where the other girls are since Claire, Megan, and Dana have disappeared. Kelly wants to know, why is Dana taking so long under the house? And she is even more startled when somebody calls from Dana's cell phone. And, the rest of the girls go outside to look for Dana. And
none of them check under the house, though, do they?
No, they don't. And that's where they knew she was going. So that doesn't make sense either. Yeah.
But they check down the street in a random car.
Right.
Because they spot Eve's car, and they're like, well, Eve left a long time ago. Why would her car still be here? So they go over and they open the car door, and Eve's head just rolls out into the snow.
Kill number 9, by the way, for you, those of you keeping score at home. Yeah.
And then they make the decision, I don't understand, to run back into the house.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Clearly there's something happening within the house too, because your friends that are in and around the house have gone missing now too. I don't understand closing yourself in. Running down the street sounds a whole lot safer to me.
Oh my God. Right?
But whatever. They go back inside and call the police, lock the door behind them. And Kelly's the one who calls the police, and she learns that because the storm is so bad, it would be at least 2 hours before they would even be able to make it to her. They don't take this seriously at all.
That seems
there's a
unlikely
decapitated
to me.
head.
Yeah.
That would be priority number 1 for the police department.
I would think so. 2 hours? I mean, I realize the storm's there and it's snowing, but good God, come on, people.
This town they're in, they don't say what it is or how big it is, but it doesn't have the feeling of a big town. It seems
it's
pretty
a
darn
college town.
small. So maybe but it seems like Ashland's size, where it's like it's still pretty small, because Kyle, just how he talks about growing up there, it seems like a small, tight-knit community. So I don't understand what would take the cops 2 hours. Plus, I mean, they would know how to drive in the snow. They live in a place where it snows all the time. I don't understand the 2 hour thing, but whatever. It makes for the movie to happen.
Right.
So Miss Mac tells everyone that they can all get into her car, and they're going to go try to find help. And Kelly fucking idiot. She's like, no, I'm not leaving because we don't know where all these other girls are. And until we know, I can't leave the house. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a personal choice to you. I would be hopping in that car with Miss Mac and getting the fuck out of there. But I can't stand when one of the people try to like be like the hero and in doing so make the dumbest choice ever, which is to stay in the stupid house.
I agree. This is one of those things where every horror movie, you don't split up. You stay together. I mean, strength in numbers. And that's not what happens. Yeah, they split up and it's like, well, what do you think is going to happen? And shit
Mm-hmm.
happens.
It sure does. Because Miss Mac decides to just leave with Heather. Heather and Miss Mac determine that they're going to go find the help, and she finally gets the car started, and obviously she needs to scrape the windows. She gets out, starts scraping the windows, and that's when she sees the stupid fucking yellow eye again in the back seat of the car, and ends up killing Heather with the blood just spraying all over the windshield. And then Miss Mac, I mean, I like the kill. Never would happen in real life. She
No.
falls back against the garage door, which causes an icicle to fall directly onto her head and kills her.
What's funny about this, when they're still in the car together, Miss Mac pulls out this brush for the ice to get the ice off the windshield. And Heather looks at her and goes, "What's that? What do I do with that?" And so Miss Mac's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I'll get out and do this myself." And she gets out and starts doing the scraping of the ice. And this is a very ineffective way, by the way. You need an ice scraper, not this brush that didn't even hardly do anything to the ice on the windshield.
Yeah, I mean, it was useless.
So kills
But,
10 and 11
yeah,
in that scene.
10 and 11. So then Lee, which is the stepsister, she notices that Miss Mac has not left yet, and she decides to go see what the fuck's going on. Kelly decides to go out with her, leaving Melissa alone in the house, along with sleeping Lauren. Lauren's still
Passed
sleeping
out,
off.
Lauren.
Yeah,
More
she's
like
still
it,
passed
yeah.
out.
She's
As they're leaving the house, they see a figure grab that magical unicorn statue and starts walking down the hall. So now the statue's going to come into play.
So Lee slips on Miss Mac's blood and screams because Lee went out there to see what the hell's going on. And so at this point, upon hearing Lee screaming, Melissa rushes toward the stairs. Figure grabs her, wraps a bag over her head, slams her into a wall. She's able to actually rip that bag off, and she just escapes and runs through the house and into her room. And then, of course, the figure follows her. She grabs a stick and starts whacking this figure with it. And then Melissa opens a window. She's about to climb out. And this is kind of a weird thing to do, but the figure sees a pair of ice skates hanging like on a coat rack, picks them up, throws them, and just miraculously the blades cut off the back of Melissa's head, which was so random and so unbelievable. It's like, really? That's kill 12, but
yeah, kind of just like scalps her.
Yeah.
And something about the figure that we should mention, because you don't really see the face, but you can tell there's two, because one is clearly Billy and his short hair, and then the other one has long blonde hair that is in always over the face. So we know we're dealing with two. Yeah. But we still don't know really what the fuck's going on. I mean,
but we do.
At this point, you can
we kind of figure out who this other one is, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's like, it was just kind of a weird deal. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren's passed out in her bed, and now there's somebody in bed with her doing very wrong things to her, and she's passed out, and she starts smiling like she's having an erotic dream. And she's like starting to moan, and she's like getting into it. And then she wakes up and realizes something is very, very wrong in her room. And then she's right to think that, because she gets stabbed with the glass unicorn for kill 13.
I can't imagine waking up that way. That would be the scariest fucking thing on the planet Earth. Like, good God, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Poof. Yeah, that's creepy, and that was just kind of sick as well. You know, the fact
Yeah.
that she's totally passed out and she's reacting the way she is at first, and then she realizes, oh shit, this isn't. Wait a minute, what's going on here? So yeah, and who knows what was happening? Thank God we didn't actually see anything.
Yeah, you can kind of guess, and you're probably right with that guess. But yeah, we don't see anything, luckily.
Right.
But Kelly and Lee rush inside and are calling for Melissa, who doesn't answer. Obviously, she's dead. So they go into Lauren's room and they shut the door behind them. But someone is on the other side of the door, and they end up kicking it open to reveal it's just fucking Kyle, who's back. Lee does try to attack him, but Kelly like stops them. Like, okay, no, it's fine. He's with me. He's with me. And then we get a scene that happens that I don't understand in the slightest, because they find Lauren dead in bed with her eyes gouged out as well. So that also happens.
Right.
But so Kelly is calling Lauren's phone and she sees the light in the ceiling. How? The phone's in the attic.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. It was like there was a crack in the ceiling or something. You could see the phone, but it was like this little dot. It wasn't even like a full display.
That would have to be a legit hole all the way up into the attic.
Right.
Which whatever. I think the scene is creepy. So if that's the only reason they had the phone visible, fine, whatever. I can buy into it. At this point, Kyle was still suspected of being the killer by Lee, but then Kelly's like, he's not the killer because, and then she like points up to the ceiling and they see the light. So that was how Kyle, I guess, got officially off the watch list for Lee. But whatever, it's a weird scene, doesn't really make sense, but they end up going to the attic to investigate because they know the phone's up there. So they head up, and it doesn't
Kyle
go well.
Heads up first.
Yeah, he heads up with the flashlight. He just gets a bag put over his head and ripped up into the attic. And they don't seem to like Kyle that much, so I don't know why they then followed, but whatever.
No, I surely would just let whatever's going to happen to Kyle happen, because not worth it.
Yeah. Kyle ends up getting stabbed with the unicorn statue and has his eyes ripped out. And then the killer...
Not only ripped out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But then the killer pops it into their mouth and you see it crunch down and juice.
Oh, God. The sound on this was equally as bad. It was just nasty.
Yeah. And then Lee attacks the figure. She sees her sister in the rocking chair, but I don't know how she would have known it was her, because she has a bag over the head.
Yeah.
And they don't know each other very well. That's been established. But she instantly knows, oh my God, that's my sister. She's dead. Oh no.
What I liked about this scene a lot is that the figure now starts lighting candles, and it starts illuminating the bodies, or the heads of the bodies, one by one. And you see Eve's head, which is on top of a Christmas tree where the star normally is. But as this figure lights the candles, each one comes into view. And I thought that was pretty cool how they did that.
That was good because, all the girls' bodies are now up there underneath the tree, and all their eyes are missing. And
I was going to say, the eyeballs are hanging from this tree like garland. It's like, oh wow, this is weird. Yeah,
it's a fucked up Christmas tree, but whatever. Then the figure informs that they're my family now, which I guess is what you do with family is you kill them and rip their eyeballs off. So that's what family is to this person.
Yes.
Well,
isn't that what family is to you though? I mean, isn't that
obviously it's what family is. It's what Christmas is all about. You know, it's an American institution, but so then Kelly ends up attacking this individual and stabbing them in the eye with this fork thing. The attacker, though, just pops that sucker out. It's a wooden eye. Boom. It's Agnes. Woo!
Yep. Oh, there it is. Big reveal.
There it is. It's Agnes. And I don't Agnes terrifies me. Like, if I'm being
Yes.
legit, is a very scary individual.
Agnes scares me more than Billy does, actually.
Yeah, no, 100%. I don't like how Agnes talks. It freaks me the fuck out.
Yep.
Ugh. So then Kelly's just like, your brother's here. Your brother's here. And she goes like, my daddy's here. And
That
Billy
is
then
the-
kind of like pops out.
That is one of the creepiest things. And she's right. It is her brother, but it's also her daddy because mommy had her way with Billy. Yeah, this this whole thing, this whole relationship is so weird.
Yeah, it's not a healthy one. There's
Yep.
some therapy that definitely needs to be taken.
I think it's too late for therapy, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. This is the importance of therapy because that's what Billy should have gotten a long time ago.
Yeah.
And maybe CPS would have been a good thing as well.
Maybe.
Couldn't have been
Oh my
worse than being
gosh.
locked in the attic and then raped by your
Yeah.
mom. Like, fuck, shit.
Right. Well, Agnes goes after Kelly, but gets knocked into another hole in the floor that pins her in between the walls. Billy pushes Kelly into the same hole, accidentally knocking over a candle, which starts a fire in the attic. Kelly is grabbed onto a string of Christmas lights attached to the tree, and so that keeps her from falling all the way down this hole. She screams. Agnes is crawling up the hole. It's creepy.
This scene actually still makes my skin crawl. It's so creepy because Kelly's in the walls.
Yes.
And above her is Billy, which you see him start to come down.
Yep.
And then below her is Agnes, who starts to climb up towards her. And Lee is she is in a different part of the house, but so she's running around trying to get into the wall, but she first gets into the wall. She's actually too high. Billy grabs her. She's able to get rid of Billy though and runs down and starts breaking into the wall. She manages to grab Kelly, but not before the tree, which is now engulfed in flames, falls down into the hole, the crawl space between the walls. That starts a fire, and you see Billy's arms getting burnt, and he's and Agnes are still in that wall, so you assume they would be dead. I think that would have been the right choice to end it there.
Yeah.
But we don't.
No, so you've got Kelly and Lee that, rush outside the house, and then it cuts to the hospital. We have the morgue scene where the worker, he's on the phone with his girlfriend or his wife, and she is pissed because he can't come home. And the reason he can't come home is because he's been ordered to identify all of these bodies that have, come in to the morgue. And it's all the sorority girls and everything and Kyle. And this is kind of I like this scene because he's drinking something. It's like eggnog or something. And he hears one of the body bags unzipping itself, which is pretty cool. And he's looking around and looks at the first one and it's nothing. And then he sees the one on the top bunk. And that one is the one he should be concerned about. Billy ends up jumping out and then ends up killing him with a bone cutter, a bone saw for kill number 15.
Yeah. Billy and Agnes. Still not dead.
Not yet.
So Kelly's now getting some tests done to make sure everything's hunky-dory. Lee then has the present that was from Claire to give to Kelly, and she ends up opening it, and it's a nice little watch engraved with "Family Forever," which is, it's sweet little gift, and she's, sentimental. She starts to cry, and a nurse comes in and tells Kelly that, they're here for some x-rays, so they got some still more tests to do. But then a little bit later, Lee goes back to Kelly's room to see if she's back from the x-rays. But instead of Kelly, there's a body with long blonde hair laying in the bed, and it's revealed it's Agnes, and she ends up getting killed with a snap of the neck from Agnes.
Kill 16 there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Kelly comes back into the room and right away feels like something's up. And she finds Lee's new watch with some blood on it. And then she looks up to the ceiling and sees some blood there. She starts to leave the room, but Agnes grabs her from behind the curtain and starts to strangle her. Now, here's the thing. When she first walked back into the room, there's a close-up on this defibrillator machine. And I'm like, well, obviously this is going to come into play. And it does. She turns it on and she shocks Agnes in the head with it, which kills her for number 17. And interestingly enough, this is the ending for the UK version of this film. So this is where it ended.
Yeah.
The US version, it's kind of weird. That would be a weird way to end it.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, that's not the version we have because Billy still hasn't been put down.
Right.
So, yeah, that's crazy that they would have not given closure with Billy.
And again, I think this was a Weinstein thing where, he wanted to continue the ending where the original ending right here, the director wanted to kind of pay tribute to the original one, which left the ending wide open. If you watch the original one, you're not really sure what's just happened at the very end because it ends that way. So anyway, so I think it was a Weinstein thing where they continued with this new ending.
Was that like the whole hospital thing was the Weinsteins? Because they should have just ended it at the house.
Well, they should have. It wouldn't surprise. I don't know though, because again, this is where it ends in the UK version. I think the US version was there or the UK version had the hospital, but this is where it ended. But I think the producers wanted this to go on even farther to give it more of a graphic ending and a closure to the ending, which I think this one kind of does.
It does, unlike the original.
Yeah.
So in this one, we continue where Billy comes down from the ceiling as Kelly rushes from the room. He is able to trip her up. There's a little bit of a scuffle in the hallway of the hospital where he's able to get a scalpel and get a couple shots in on her there. But then they kind of grapple at the top of a stairway, and Kelly is able to actually sling Billy over the stairs all the way down, and he lands perfectly on the top of a Christmas tree that shoots through his body and impales him, and he ends up dying. And this is one of my favorite shots in the movie. It looks up at Kelly looking down, and there's Christmas lights going, and you see Billy's just like, it looks like his shadow, his head and his arm. Yeah, the shadow, and it just keeps moving on the wall with the different flashing of the lights. And I think that's such a cool shot. I love it.
And his intestines are like, wrapped around the top of the tree. And Kelly's just, there's a shot of Kelly looking on in shock. And then that's the movie. The credits start to roll.
Yep.
So
film's over.
That's it. The remake.
Billy's the final kill.
Number 18. So that's our final kill count is 18. I think my favorite character is probably Kelly in this.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go with, I just always loved Michelle Trachtenberg, so I'm going to go with Melissa. I just like Michelle Trachtenberg. Yeah, she's fun.
Favorite kill was Billy's mother because she's just a nasty person. I was happy to see her go.
Yeah, I just hated the cookie stuff. So I'm going to say my favorite kill is, that's tough. I'm going to go with the stepdad who gets the thing through his face and the eyeball shoot out the back of his head.
What's your favorite scene?
So my favorite scene is, I'm going to have to go with Agnes and Billy in the walls with Kelly. It's so well done. It's very tense. You're on the edge of your seat, and it's just so fucking creepy seeing those two little deviants crawling up and down towards her. God. Right. And she's stuck. She's stuck in a wall. Like, it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah. And I am that way anyway. So that really affected me. I was like, oh my God. I think for me, because Kyle was such an asshole and I did not like his character at all. I think my favorite scene is when Kelly finds the porn on Meg's computer, and that just reveals what an asshole Kyle really is.
Right.
So that was kind of gratifying.
For sure.
Final girl score. We give this to Kelly, obviously. I gave her a 9.
Yeah, I mean, she's good in it. I don't have any real complaints about her. She just doesn't feel iconic, like
Yeah.
she just doesn't. Yeah, there's a feeling when it comes to an iconic final girl, and she just doesn't quite have it. But she's good, so I'm gonna go ahead with I'll do a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about your star grade on this?
Oh, we have to do how screwed are we?
Well, we could do that first. I wouldn't make it. I think I would get killed pretty quickly in this. I wouldn't be crawling around in any walls, that's for sure.
I feel like I think I would survive just because I would leave. Like I am a coward. I'm not afraid to say it. I would dip out very early and I would not care who I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
All right. Star grade for me, I enjoyed this more than the original and certainly more than the third film. I still give it about a 3.
That's not bad. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 too.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.5. That sounds about right. It's great. I really, really do like this movie. I just don't like the eyeball stuff. I don't like the incest. And
no. And
there's just a couple things. Yeah.
For me, just disgusted me.
There's just like a couple things that were just pushed into it that I don't enjoy, but overall I really still do like it. But those things are just like, ugh. I really wish you weren't in this movie.
Slasher survival tip. If the killer's backstory requires diagrams, flashbacks, and multiple eye removals, do not stay in the house. Do not investigate the attic. And absolutely do not answer prank phone calls. I think that's sound advice.
Hell, that's sound advice. I love it.
All right, there it is. 2006's remake of Black Christmas. Coming up here in just moments, we will dive into your scare preview. But first, the Jaunty Haunts podcast. Courtney has created an incredible podcast based out of 30 years of her life experience. She kept a secret for that long that she could see ghosts, and now she's telling her story to the world with incredible stories, incredible guests, and she's actually toured a lot of haunted places as well.
Yeah, she's always has lots of guests to share their experiences as well. So if you like supernatural podcasts, you gotta check out Jaunty Haunts anywhere you get your podcasts.
Well, let's see if Michael and I have a match on the scare preview. What is your movie, Michael?
So mine is, I think I'm saying this correctly, it's Hokum.
No match.
And it's, okay, no match. So this is from, and this was one of my favorite movies last year, Oddity. It's from that director, Damien McCarthy. It's hitting theaters May 1st. It stars Adam Scott. And I don't know what this movie's about. It looks very creepy. Maybe it's witchy. I don't know. I saw like a clip from it, and it left me confused but intrigued. And there is a shot in it of this person like this rabbit mask that was like, ugh, I hate that. That's creepy. So I'm excited. Oddity was so good. I can't wait to see what else he's got up his sleeve.
Nice. So I am eyeballing a movie called The Boy in the Iron Box. Directed by David Pryor, stars Rupert Friend, Kevin Durand, and Jaden Martell. And it's about a plane that's carrying a team of mercenaries. It crashes on a remote, snowy summit. They come across a maze-like stone fortress, and terror takes a new shape. They are currently filming this, so they're looking at a late release here in 2006. So coming up within the next year, it should be out. But The Boy in the Iron Box sounds intriguing.
Yeah, I'm sold. I'll check it out.
Well, thank you for joining us for our 47th episode of Opening Kill. Next week, I already previewed this movie. I hadn't watched it in a very long time, and we'll find out why. It's Bloody New Year from 1987.
I have not seen it, so I am excited. I love
it's actually
holiday horror.
It's hard to find. I found it on Plex, which is one of those ad streaming services. So you have to watch it with ads. You can't stream it anywhere else that I could find. So it's kind of interesting. It's a very low budget movie. And I will tell you that even the director of the movie got so frustrated by the end that he just threw his hands up and said, "Producers, you just do whatever with it." So, I mean, we'll cover it. Yeah, it really is. So we'll bring that to you next week. And next week, obviously, will be New Year's Day. And it's a perfect movie for New Year's Day. So, join us for that. In the meantime, follow us on Insta and Facebook. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel for the video version of Opening Kill.
Yes, you can also check out the audio there as well. And of course, the audio is available on whatever podcast streaming website you like best. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, whatever. It's on all of them. So check it out. And tell your friends. Share the podcast with the horror lover in your life.
And email us at openingkillpod@gmail.com. If you have any questions, or even if you have a movie suggestion, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
All right. Well, that does it for us. We will see you next week with Bloody New Year.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time, if you survive the opening kill.